guys, welcome back. So the previous part we will studied about the axial skeleton, in which we studied about the skull, in which we studied about the ear ossicles and sternum. In this part 2 we will study about the vertebral column mainly. Okay. So what we will study here, we will study what is the cervical vertebra. So there is a 7 cervical vertebra and there is 12 thoracic vertebra, then there is 5 lumbar vertebra and there is a sacrum, there is a midline region, the buttock, and there is a coccyx, then tail bones. So remember this is the like S shape, like this shape. Okay. So this will be in thoracic vertebra. We have posterior longitudinal ligament. We have posterior longitudinal ligament, and in the lumbar we have anterior longitudinal ligament. We have anterior longitudinal ligament. And why I am telling this, why I didn't describe about all other ligament, why I am telling, because if posterior longitudinal ligament is affected, then it will result in the kyphosis. In the kyphosis, the patient will bend forward. That is the pathology. And in anterior longitudinal ligament, it will result in the lordosis. It will result in the lordosis. Bent backward. Okay. Now there is serum, the midline region, the buttocks, and the coccyx. So now we will go for a typical structure vertebra. Okay. So let's discuss about the typical structure of the vertebra. So this is the structure of the typical vertebra. I wrote the name to save the time. So what is the structure of the typical vertebra? It consists of pedicels, like paired pedicels they have. So this is our pedicels. Okay, they have the this is our pedicels. So they have the paired pedicels, and they have paired vertebral arc. Okay, so you can see this is the our arc, this one. And what they have, the paired pedicel, what they have the lamina, and it consists of, in the anterior part, it consists of the body, or we can say centrums. So remember, body is the largest in lumbar vertebra. It is largest in lumbar vertebra. So lumbar vertebra, the body is the largest. Okay. Now the arc is formed by the paired pedicels and the paired lamina. Okay. And now there is foramen arise, that are what they have foramens, that are transverse process. Sorry, there are process arise, that is the transverse process, and there is a spinous process on the posterior sides, and there is a superior articular process here, and there is below that there is inferior articular process. What they have, superior articular process, what they have, transverse process, what they have, the spinous process, and what they have, inferior articular process. And here is superior articular facet. What is the superior articular facet? It act as a attachment point for upper vertebra. Okay, upper typical vertebra, this is attachment point. Facet is the attachment point. What is the facet? It is the attachment point. It is the attachment point for the typical upper typical vertebra. And what we have, if we have inferior articular facet also, so that is the for attachments of the lower vertebra. Okay, so remember they have the vertebral arc here, and that's all for the structure of the typical vertebra. Now we will go for cervical vertebra and thoracic vertebra. We have the cervical vertebra here. So first we will talk about the atlas, and then we will talk about the axis. First we will talk about the atlas. Okay, so what is it? We have the atlas here, and what we have, axis here. So before going to discuss this diagram, let me explain you the characteristics of the cervical vertebra. So first I told that they are the 7 in number. They are 7 in number. So other characteristics are, so first remember they are the smallest vertebra. These are the smallest vertebra. The second, they are the lightest vertebra. What they have? These are the lightest. They have lightweight. Then they are most flexible. They are most flexible. Then they have triangular foramen. They have triangular vertebral foramen. Okay. Then there is the transverse process. Transverse process having transverse foramina. Transverse foramina. Okay. Then they have spinous process, and remember that is bifid. That is bifid, or we can say it's pork. And but there is one exception here. Exceptions. Let's take the red color, and here is the exception. What is the exception here? That is the C7 vertebra. They are not bifid. They are not bifid. Okay. 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 Now go to the diagram. So what is that? They have the superior articular facet. What they have the superior articular facet for the attachment. Okay. So this is the atlas. So this is the first cervical vertebra. This is the first cervical vertebra, and this is the C2 vertebra. Okay. So remember, this is the C1. Okay. So they have the superior articular facet for the attachment. This is the anterior part, and this is our posterior part. Okay. And here what we have tubercles here, that is anterior tubercle. What we have there, anterior tubercle present here, and we have the lateral mass. This mass is known as the lateral mass. This is lateral mass. Okay, this is the lateral mass present here, and this is the superior articular facet. This is the superior articular facet. Okay, and this is our anterior arc. What we will say it, anterior arc. And then what we will say it, this one will say it posterior arc, right? We'll say posterior arc. Then this is the posterior tubercle present here. What is that? This is the posterior tubercle. So this is the posterior tubercle present here. Posterior tubercle. Okay. So what is that? This is the posterior arc. Okay. Let me highlight this. So this is our posterior arc. Okay. And where what we have, this is our posterior tubercle present here. And this is the facet. This is the for attachment of the superior articular facet. Of course, it will attach to the occipital bones above, and they have the lateral masses present inside. And this is the vertebral foramen that passes the spine, from which passes the spinal cord. And there is a transverse process here. And here, the between the transverse process, they have the one foramen present here, that we will call it transverse foramina. Okay, so this is our transverse foramina, we can say. So this is our transverse foramen. Okay, so let's now cover the dens. So what is the dens? The dens is the also known as the odontoid process. So it is a process, so it will embed in something. So what is that something? So it will embed it into this part. Okay, so it will embed it into the this part of the. So this is the this is the axis, and this is the atlas. So dens will embedded into this part, and remember they have don't have, remember for the C1, C1 do not have spinal process. They do not have spinal process. Okay, and remember what they have, remember about the C2, so they have the dens. The most unique feature, they have the dens. Okay, and they have the bifid process. So this is our spinous process. What this spinous process, and this is bifid, like four, this type, one or two. Okay, and C7 vertebra, that is single. They do not bifid. That is a C7 vertebra. That is the exception of the cervical vertebra or the of the spinous process. Okay, then if you talk about the what is that? Okay, let me tell. So what we'll call this? This will call it pedicel. What we call this? Pedicel, and this is the lamina part. This one is the lamina part, right? This one we will call it lamina part. Okay, what is that? This structure here, and we will call it this here structure. What is this structure? We'll call this. This is the inferior. This structure is known as the inferior articular process. This is the inferior articular process, and here we already told that is a transverse process, and there is the transverse foramina. Okay, so this is our vertebral foramen, and I think this is enough, and this is our anterior part, and this is our posterior part. Okay, so I think everything is clear now. So we studied about the cervical vertebra. So next we are going, so remember for the cervical vertebra first, so these are the smallest, vertebra, and these are the lightest. Okay, these are the lightest vertebra, and these are the most flexible. These are the triangular vertebra. They have the triangular vertebral foramen. Yes, remember. So they have the triangle. This foramen is known as the triangular vertebral foramen. So this is like triangular. Okay, this is the triangular vertebral foramen. Then we have the transverse process, and this is the spinous process, and this is the bifid or pore. So let's now talk about the thoracic vertebra. So we have the thoracic vertebra here. So we talk about the sixth thoracic vertebra, and this is our superior view, and one we took. This is the sixth thoracic vertebra, and there is superior view, and this is our lateral view. So okay, let's talk about the sixth thoracic vertebra superior view. So what they have? They have superior articular facets. What do they have? They have superior articular costal facets. Sorry. So, okay, before going to diagram, let's talk more about the characteristics. I already wrote to save the time. So characteristics, they are the heart-shaped body. They have the heart-shaped body. You can say this is like heart-shaped. This will be like heart-shaped. Okay, this is like heart-shaped body, and additionally small costal facet. What they have? They have additional small costal facets because these are the part of the rib cage, because they form the posterior part of the rib cage, and ribs are attached to thoracic vertebra posteriorly. So they should have costal facets, hence they have facet for ribs. Costal means, what is the costal? Costal is equals to ribs. Costal is ribs, right? So they form the round or oval vertebral foramen. What they will form? They will form the round or oval vertebral foramen. They will round or oval vertebral foramens. Means the foramen will have. Sorry. This. Oh, I wait. So this is our like heart-shaped body, and they have round or oval or foramen. It will like here. This is our heart-shaped. Okay, and this is our like round or oval foramen, we can say. This is round or oval foramen. It will be like oval foramen. Okay, so it will be round or oval vertebral foramens. But they have the round or oval vertebral foramen. They have heart-shaped body, but they have additional small costal facet for attachment of the ribs. Attachment of ribs. They form the posterior part of the rib cage, and they form the posterior part of the rib cage. Okay, what rib cage includes? Rib cage. Rib cage तो rib cage it includes the posterior thoracic vertebra. Posterior, what they have thoracic vertebra. Then they have ribs, that is vertebrochondral ribs, that is true ribs. Vertebrochondral ribs, that is true ribs. And they have the sternum. Okay, so this is the anterior. What is this? This is the anterior. They formed by the vertebrochondral ribs and then sternum. They form the rib cage. What they form? They form the rib cage. So who make the rib cage? The thoracic vertebra, vertebrochondral ribs, and the sternum. Okay. Now let's go to the diagram again. So you can see there is superior articular facet, superior small costal facet, like superior costal facet. There is transverse costal facet. This is for the ribs. Okay. Then they have the same body that is our heart shaped. How it's like heart shaped. They have foramen, that is how it will like. It will be oval or round foramen. Oval or round. Okay. The next is what? The next is superior vertebral nose. They have the nose here. What they have? They have the nose here, present superiorly. Okay, and this is our lamina part, and they have the pedicels, they have the lamina, they have the arches, and this is the spinous process. So what? How the spinous process? This is not bifid. Only bifid process seen in bifid spinous process seen in cervical C2 to C6. Okay, bifid spinous process. What they have? They have the bifid spinous process. Okay, so there is superior. Okay, let's talk about more about the lateral view. In the lateral view, what we will see the superior articular facet here, and there is inferior vertebral notch present here. But which notch present here? Inferior vertebral notch. They have inferior vertebral notch present. Okay, they have the inferior vertebral notch present. That is inferior vertebral notch. Okay, so what is that? Okay, and what is that? They have body. Okay, they have the inferior articular facet. This is the facet for inferior, or we can say for the 7th thoracic vertebra. This is the facet for thoracic vertebra, 7th thoracic vertebra, and this is the facet for 5th thoracic vertebra. And there is also the superior articular process. There is a pedicel, transversal costal facet. Again, the same thing, the inferior articular process, but it will look like the long spinous process. They have the long spinous process. What they have? They have the long spinous process. Long spinous process. Okay. So remember for thoracic vertebra. So this was all about the thoracic vertebra. So now we'll, if any question, then write in the comment box, and now we will go to the lumbar vertebra. So lumbar vertebra is the largest vertebra, and they have the body, the largest body, or we can say centromes. So guys, here we have lumbar vertebra. So what lumbar vertebra? What happens in the lumbar vertebra? So remember, in the lumbar vertebra, they have massive block-like bodies. So if you talk about the body of the lumbar vertebra, so what they have? They have massive block-like bodies. They have massive, it's like block like bodies. Okay, then what they have spinous process. And remember about the spinous process, these are the short process, and these are thick in lumbar vertebra. And remember the shape of the spinous process, that is hatchet shaped. What do you mean by hatchet? It's like a small X. ओके, एंड वी कैन से लाइक छोटे, जो छोटी कुल्हाड़ी टाइप के होती है उसको हम क्या होता है हैचेट शेप्ड. सो जो स्पाइनस प्रोसेस है वो हमारा कैसा होता है हैचेट शेप्ड का. सो इसकी वजह से क्या होता है, दे हैव द, और इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द lumbar vertebra, so they have the limited mobility. What they have? limited mobility, like usual as typical vertebra. They have limited mobility. Okay, so let's go to the diagram now. So diagram we can see we have like massive block-like bodies. Okay, then we have vertebral foramen like as usual, and pedicels. We have the transverse process. We have the superior articular process. We already discussed all these things before. So memory process, they have lamina, the spinous process. Remember, you need to remember about spinous process, that is main things, and about the body. We like they have the large body. They have large body unrelated to other vertebra, and they have accessory process. Then again the same things, if you see the posterior view, the posterior view, it will look like that. Then body, we have the vertebral canal, then superior articular process, and these are facets here. Okay, and then these are the intervertebral disc, intervertebral disc. Okay, then we have accessory process, spinous process, and lamina. It's the same things, but this is like posterior view. Okay, so let's discuss now about the lumbar. Let's discuss now about the lateral view. So this is our lateral view. So the lateral view will look like that. So what we have this one. So this is the body that is large shaped, and you can see we have the spinous process here. So these are our spinous process. These all are our spinous process. So spinous process, you can see these are hatchet shaped. It looks like hatchet shape. And then we have what we have here. We have here this one. This one is intervertebral foramen. That is intervertebral foramen. Okay. Then we have notch here. Yeah, we have notch here. That is super. That is, and we have one notch here and one notch above. So this is inferior notch, and then we have superior here. Okay. Then we have here, that is pedicel. Let's go there. Then this is our superior articular process. Then we have here, what is that? That is mammillary process. Which process? Then we have mammillary process here. And this is our which process? Tell me about which process is it. So this is transverse process. So that is our transverse process. Then we have what, which process is this? Already discussed. This is our spinous process. Okay. Then what is, which part is this one? Blue part. So this, what you will say, intervertebral disc. So they have the more mobility or less mobility? They have less mobility. For like which mobility for joint we will discuss in another video. So for now, just remember they have the less mobility related to other vertebra. Okay. Then we told here that is inferior notch and that is superior vertebral notch. So it will looks like in the lateral view if we talk about the lumbar vertebra. So remember the two things in the lumbar vertebra. In the lumbar vertebra we have limited mobility. Okay, sir. Then we have massive block-like bodies. Yes. Then we have, because it's a large body, right? Then we have the short, thick, and hatchet-shaped spinous process. So this is the unique features that characterize or differentiate the lumbar vertebra from the other vertebra. Okay. So remember they have the which how many number? One, two, three, 4, or 5? Yes, we have L1 to L5. And from this region, like L2 to L3, we do the lumbar puncture. From the lumbar vertebra, we do the lumbar puncture. Okay, lumbar puncture we will tell what is that. So here we have lumbar vertebra. Okay, now go to the spinal sacrum. The next we have sacrum. So okay, we have sacrum here. So okay, let's discuss more about sacrum. So first, what are the characteristics of the sacrum? Sacrum, as you know, these are the bones which fused, right? It's fused in the adults. So what is that? It's like of composite bone of how many bones? of five fused bones, five fused vertebrae or vertebral bones. Then what we have, it is shape the, what is the function of the sacrum? It shape the posterior wall of the pelvis. Who gives us the shape to the posterior wall of the pelvis? That is our sacrum, right? Then we have, what is that? Then we have, you can see, first go to the diagram now. So we can see this is the like body of the first, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. So this is the body of the first cervical sacral vertebra. Then we have the, between them they have the ridge present. As you can see, we have the ridge here. This ridge, we have the ridge present here. So we will say it's transverse ridge and formed due to the fusion, formed by the fusion of, it's formed by the fusion of vertebra. The site of vertebral fusion we saw it transverse ridges. Okay. Then what we have? Then we have transverse ridges, or we can say site of vertebral fusion. Then we have, this is which part? This is anterior, or we can say this is your posterior part. This is your anterior part, and this is your posterior part. Okay. Then we have, this is our like anterior, and this is posterior part, posterior sacrum. So we can see here, so we have anterior, and we can say this is anterior sacral foramen, and this is our posterior sacral foramen. We have anterior sacral foramen, and this is our posterior sacral foramen. Okay. Then we have ala. Ala means it's like wings. You can say it's ala wings here. Okay. So this is about the sacral. So remember one more things. We have the sacral canal here. So it is like gives a foramen, or we give sacral foramen. So what is the function of the sacral foramen? Because spinal cord is absent here, right? So then what is the function here? So remember, sacral foramina, sacral foramina allow passage of vessels and the nerves. What they allow? They allow the passage of vessels and the nerves, through which vessels and the nerve is passed through the sacral foramen. And we have the sacral hiatus. Hiatus means it's like opening. Hiatus means it's opening. Then next we have our another bone, that is coccyx. That is coccyx, right? We have the coccyx bone here. So remember, I told you that coccyx is what? That is our tailbone. Coccyx is what? It is the tailbone. Coccyx is, it makes like tailbone, and formed by its composite bone of four fused bones. Composite bone of four fused bones. Okay, so this was about our vertebral column. So we studied about seven cervical vertebra. Then we studied about 12 thoracic vertebra. Then we studied about L5. Then we have what? We have 5 fused sacrum. Then we have coccygeal, that is 4. So we said it's vertebral column formula. So this is our vertebral column or vertebral formula. So these are the bones present in our adult, that is 26 bones. So this is about vertebral column. Okay. So this is studied about all things. So first we studied about the cervical vertebra, that's 7. Then we told all about the structure of the typical vertebra we studied. Then we studied about the cervical vertebra. Then we studied about the thoracic vertebra. So you can see the lumbar vertebra. Then we have sacrum, then coccyx. Okay. Okay. Then we next go to the thoracic. I discuss. I think that is thoracic cage. So which vertebra or which vertebral column that forms the thoracic cage? Tell me. That is posteriorly made by the thoracic vertebra. Which vertebra? Thoracic vertebra. Hence we call it thoracic cage, or another name is rib cage. What we say is rib cage. So it provide the, like it provide the support to like heart, our lungs. So it provide this, and we have the ribs here. So we didn't discuss about the ribs. So it's made by the ribs, that is our vertebrochondral ribs. Vertebrochondral ribs, and it also makes by the sternum. So these three, they forms the what? They form thoracic cage or rib cage. So rib cage or thoracic cage is formed by the our thoracic vertebra. Then it's made by the vertebral chondral ribs. So I told that is ribs we have discussed. Ribs we didn't discuss. So let's go to the ribs. So remember about the ribs. So ribs have how many number? They have 24 bones. It means we can say there is 12 pairs. Okay, it's like classified into three types. One, we have true ribs, that is 1 to 7 ribs, and then we have false ribs, that is 8 to 12. Or we can say in the false rib, we can say some classified the false ribs into there is false ribs and floating ribs. So if we say the false ribs and the floating, differentiate the false into the floating, then false rib is 8 to 10, and we have two more, that is floating ribs, we can say. Okay, so what is that? We studied about the true ribs. So it's vertebrochondral ribs, vertebrosternal ribs. Why they call true ribs? Because posteriorly they attach to the thoracic vertebra, and posteriorly they attach to the thoracic vertebra, and anteriorly they attach to the which sternum region by cartilage. And false ribs, posteriorly they attach to the thoracic vertebra, but anteriorly they attach to the which bone? Anteriorly they attach to the ribs, seventh ribs, and by the cartilage. So they do not directly attach to the sternum region. So floating ribs, what is that? Floating ribs. Floating ribs, they are posteriorly attached to the thoracic vertebra, but anteriorly they are freely formed. They floating, like they float, or they are free. They do not attach to anything. Okay. Then what we remaining? We have remaining here about the sternum. So sternum, as I told, that is our manubrium. Sternum consists of three parts. Sternum. So let's make the sternum here. Not so clear diagram, but we can make like that. Okay, free body diagram. So we have jugular notch here, jugular notch. Okay, then we have clavicular notch present here, clavicular notch. So remember about the that we have apex region, or we will sort it xiphoid process. What do you say? Xiphoid process. Then we have this part is known as which part? This is known the sternum body, and this part is known as manubrium. Which this part is known as manubrium. Okay, so this part is known as a manubrium. So sternum have, they have the sternal angles. So this is known the sternal angles. Then we have body part, that is sternal body. Then we have G4 sternal. We have the joint. We can say it G4 sternal joint. This joint is, we can say, what we can say this joint. This is our G4 sternal joint. That is G4 sternal joint. Okay. Then we have xiphoid process. So I think this is the part of the sternum. So sternum, what we studied about. Then what we have part manubrium. First we have what? Manubrium. Then we have sternal angle, or we can say then we have sternal body, main part, sternal body. Then we have G4 sternal joint, G4 sternal joint, and then we have xiphoid process. Okay, so remember they have the facets like here. for the attachment of the ribs, vertebro-sternal ribs. Okay, this is about our sternum. And we have the ribs. I told the ribs, it consists of the ribs also have two ribs, false ribs, and sternum, as I told lots of time, that is midline breastbone. That is midline breastbone. And our two ribs that articulates with the sternal body. Okay, and I think it's we completed about the axial skeleton. So axial skeleton, we finished axial skeleton. In the next video we will study about the appendicular skeleton. Okay, bye bye. Thank you, my dear friends. If you understand this video, then please like, share and subscribe. Press the bell icon to get the notifications. Thank you. Keep learning, keep growing. Bye bye. Take care.